It's like we're live.
We're live.
Hey. Yeah, so we're gonna get together and do a Scotch whiskey review of Springbank 15-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. Comes courtesy of Keith, who sent us all wonderful packages. So yeah, this is on each of our streams. So, anyways, Dan from FLX.
Sean from Nerd Sense.
Kyle No Hype Beer Reviews. And Keith, the sender of said liquid. Keith, great beer tuber, even better person. 93 Lumber, spelled out.
Spelled out.
Thank you. Keith, you are right. Speak. I just wanted to hype you up from No Hype.
That's a lot of hype then. That's a lot of hype.
All right. Really quick, I guess I'll get this out of the way. We're going to try the scoring system today. We've done it on Tanner, East Coast LQ reviews. Usually does whiskey review Mondays. Now I think it's every couple of weeks or whatever. But we've always done this scoring system over there. So it's a 100-point system, and it breaks down aesthetics is 10, nose is 20, flavor is 20, mouthfeel is 20, finish is 20, and then value at the end is 10. And so we'll go through each category as we sip on it and go from there. But yeah, all right. Keith, you want to show off the bottle and we can pour it up and do whatever?
Here, so this is the bottle. It's 46% alcohol by volume. Springbank, 15. Campbelltown single malt Scotch whiskey. Let me see if I can see the. This was bottled in. It was either bottled in September or May of last year. I'm assuming it's May because the date and the month are reversed. So yeah.
What do you think about the bottle?
What do I think about the bottle?
Yeah, the aesthetics. Like what do you think about the label, the presentation? I mean,
I like it. It's got the embossed or whatever you call it in the glass. So that's cool. And I do enjoy the shape of it as well.
That is a nice shaped bottle. Is the label itself embossed anywhere, or is it all just flat?
No, it's just like matte.
I guess embossing the glass makes up for that. I won't. No negative points.
I mean, I think our bottles are pretty nice. I mean, they got this nice metallic number on the top.
It is. Wait a second. Why is Dan's 5? They should all be. No, or does it matter? Doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter.
Okay. Because I'm going off my cheat sheet.
This
is at 7. Okay.
Yeah.
John, turn producer mode off.
I'm like, wait, I don't have 7. I only have an L.
Okay. All right. I poured mine, kind of let it sit or whatever. I mean, the color of it, pretty nice, dark brown, right?
Yeah.
When I hold mine up to the light, it looks closer to what you guys have. Well, I guess it doesn't seem too far off on camera.
I'm not even looking at my screen. I'm just like,
yeah.
Trying to see how much legs are on the. Yeah, you kind of get like the little oil slick there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It looks good. It definitely looks good.
Pretty clear legs. They're not like too like tinted brown or anything. They're pretty clear looking now.
Yeah.
Do you guys judge, like if you're at a store looking at whiskey or whatever, do you ever judge it based on the color? Like if it's really light, do you get kind of worried or?
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't had that thought, but I think I do subconsciously think darker equals better.
Yeah. You don't really see that much when I think of lighter colored whiskeys, I more think of like Doors like because that's like a yellowish looking whiskey, and that's like relatively cheap. It's what my mom used to drink. So
Right.
like that's then I think like so I guess yeah, probably because of that. Like that's my stereotypical like, oh, if it looks like doors, it's probably crap.
I tend to not really think about it unless it's usually if I'm just like looking at stuff and like I see like a sherry cask finished one or some sort of cask finished one, depending on what the cask is. Like I will, the color of it will, I'll pay more attention to it or whatever. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. But yeah, if I'm just looking at normal bourbon and stuff, I usually don't.
See, for me, I don't know if it's this true or not. I could be totally making this up in my mind. But if I see a lighter colored whiskey, I also like think I was like, that's a younger whiskey. Like it hasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's just me. If you guys had 1 through 10 aesthetics, overall presentation.
So we say it now, or do we?
You can just write it down as we go.
Okay.
Just think. And
Keith, one more label question. What's on the back? Is it like is it just like the government warnings, or is it like a
there's
some wording
actually
about
a
it?
little there's a little thing on it. I will read it. But yeah,
Okay,
this is just
cool.
imported. It says Springbank single malt whiskey is free of artificial coloring. Also, it is not chill filtered. This will cause a slight natural haze to form when it is cold, but this will disappear when the temperature returns to normal. Yeah.
Okay. Guys want to get a nose?
Yeah.
Here's the label again, just in case.
I am a sucker for like it looks like Green Lantern's logo.
What a comic book nerd you're being.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Right, nose.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So to be perfectly transparent, as I've gotten into bourbon over the last year, I've not done any like scotches. So this is definitely unique.
Yeah, I used to be same for me. I used to be big into like single malt Scotch, and then I found bourbon, and I was like, meh.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Keith loves the smell of this.
Yeah, it's very peaty.
Right, I love peatiness too. So I'm
Yeah.
like loving this. Yeah.
So with the PD thing, does that also where I'm getting like a little bit that smoky kind of? Okay.
Yep.
I'm not too familiar with the.
To me, peaty, yeah, it's smoky, but it's like almost like smoky umami hybrid. Like those are two separate things, almost like a combination of both. Like because if someone was saying like smelling this and they said, "Oh, it smells smoky," I would be like, "Yeah, I totally get what you're saying," but kind of like having been able to identify peatiness, this to me is more peaty than just smoky. Yeah.
I don't.
You know, like
Yeah, it's got like that smokiness is kind of. I mean, peat is moss, so like in my head, I'm just like, oh, it smells like. Doesn't smell like wood burning. It smells like a more like a moss or like a vegetation kind of smell.
Like a walk through a damp forest.
Yeah, I love that Tanner commented technically earthy. Like, yeah, it's this.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it hits the culinary thing, and then like I love the walk in the woods. It's not ashy. It's not new smoke, but yeah, it's almost like a Venn diagram or something. I don't know. Smoke is an overlapping part of peatiness for me, for sure.
Oh, that's interesting. I had no idea that's how they.
Very cool.
Yeah. Science behind it. There's definitely a note of like caramel. Probably, I was gonna say molasses, but more caramel than molasses.
I agree with that.
Little citrus, little zesty thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Could you pinpoint the citrus? To me, it's generically citrusy. Like I couldn't go all in on orange or lemon.
I would say generic.
Okay.
I'd say citrus zest, like the zestiness of the
It
root.
is
Generic, but like I think it leans just a touch lime, just a touch for me. But
the only thing like of the citrus that comes to mind, I would say grapefruit would be the least of the big four. So I'm not like against the lime thing. Yeah, that's interesting.
I could see lime, like a really like underripe lime or something. Or underripe? Overripe? I don't know. I don't know my limes.
Or like a smoked lime. Apparently, I'm really hungry because all my thoughts are going culinary. We just watched the new season of The Bear. My mind's all like hyper food stuff.
Yeah.
Without getting off on a tangent, I haven't started that yet, but I'm eager. So
no spoilers from me.
We just finished episode 5, so we have 3 more episodes left.
Nice.
Also, the one thing about Springbank that I have thoroughly enjoyed since I first had it is, and I don't always get it in all of the ones I've had, or the few that I've had, but there is a little bit of a brininess in it.
Oh, interesting.
A little minerality thing.
How about wood? How much wood is anyone getting?
Lots, actually.
I'm getting a moderate amount.
Yeah. It's funny. Sometimes I'm just like the biggest things, I just like go right past them because I'm trying to like pick out like the more intricate pieces of it. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, it really smells like this thing.
Yeah, it's like wood and peat are the two biggest components.
I'm getting like the wood is more so like if you're like shopping at like an antique store or something and you find like an old dresser and you open up the drawers and you get that waft of, you know what I mean? Like, because it doesn't, it's not fresh to me. It smells kind of like dusty and kind of,
musty, but not in an off way.
Musty, yeah.
That's a good one.
I like that, Dan. That's good, and yet not in a mothball way. Like definitely, the wood. Yeah, really good descriptor.
Maybe a little brown sugar, but not as much as like a bourbon or whatever. But like there's an apparent sweetness. I can't pinpoint if
there is.
My mind also had gone to caramel, but which I think Sean said. But the brown sugar I wouldn't have thought. But now you say it, I totally do get it.
This smells like the more I'm getting into it, the more layers are getting peeled for me. And it just smells really unique, and it's just my mind is turning. What is the flavor going to be like? You know what I mean? So
the last whiff I had, to your point, that's something I didn't get at all. Is like wood cooked pizza, the crust where it gets a little bit blackened. So yeah, it's a good point, Dan. Like the more I smell it, it keeps coming. But it's like really nice that we're doing a live stream that allows some time to do that, because I wouldn't at this point I would have wrapped up the review and I wouldn't have gotten that. I wouldn't have kept going. No, seriously, right? Like,
no,
I'm not Keith. I don't do 20-minute reviews on everything.
I try so hard. I just as soon as I press record, like time blinded.
No, the only reason it made me think to say it is because today the video you posted is one of the ones I sent you, and you're like kept talking about like I'm not gonna go, like this is everything I have to say, so I'm out. Too funny. Well, it's funny.
All right, you guys want to
all channels.
You guys want to sip on this?
Before we taste it, I did want to say one thing. It doesn't smell too boozy. It's not. It smells very approachable. It's not maybe not approachable, but it's as far as from an alcohol perspective, it's not. Like sometimes you smell things and it just smells like ethanol or whatever. Yeah. But
if you stick your nose in and give like a big whiff, then you get ethanol. But if you're just doing a normal smell, then no. Yeah.
I love how we're complete noobs. We gloss over the whole fact about even alcohol. Like, oh yeah, do we smell the booze on the whiskey?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys ready to taste?
Yes.
All right.
Cheers.
Again,
Keith, you're a madman. Thank you.
Wrong way, Sean. Close enough.
Every time.
We'll get it.
Also, I will say I have not had this, so this is the first time I've had the 15.
I was gonna say that's a lie. You just
but
had it now.
I've had the 15 year before, but I haven't had this batch. So,
Ooh.
Right off the bat, a lot of the stuff we said in the aroma, I taste.
Dude.
I think this is really good.
Like,
oh, wait. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. I'm just sitting here. Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think this is really good. I won't say
It is
numbers
insanely.
Yet,
it is insanely like just like. I hate to use the word smooth. I almost detest that word a little bit, but it is very just pleasant, and there's not really a harsh kickback. Like you get that, the ethanol a little bit, obviously, but everything just melds well together. There's not
the peatiness, I think, kind of, because it is smooth, and then I want like it. Something that's smooth could almost go down too easy, that you're not like thinking about it, processing or whatever. But like I think the peatiness. Hey, what's up, Billy? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Billy.
hey, Billy.
Helps a lot. Leather, like it definitely goes to like, to me, like those things. Tobacco is in it, but it's like a little bit lower, but it's in the ranking for me. All right, I've done a lot of talking. Who else?
The first thing that I thought of, and I know it's next on the list, but it probably actually should be above flavor, is the mouthfeel is really full and has this really interesting mouthfeel that I don't normally get from whiskeys in general.
It's a little bit of the oily thing.
Yeah,
and it's,
I'm digging it.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like almost almost creamy in a way.
Yeah.
Or like
Yes.
kind of like
Yes.
fluffy. It's yeah.
Which I never thought would be a descriptor for whiskey until now.
I'm kind of shocked that the mouthfeel is what it is for the proof. Generally, you get like a 92 proof bourbon, like, or something like that. Like you get ones with nice mouthfeel, but you got to go cask strength if you want that nice kind of luxurious oily thing. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time. And you achieve that with this. Yeah, this is good. Are you guys getting any like grape or cherry notes?
Oh, interesting.
I could see like a dark cherry for sure.
Like a cocktail
Kind of
cherry?
right across
Like,
the mid,
not the
right across
Marciano,
the mid
but
palate. Yeah. What I like the way it kind of I know, and again, I guess I'm going out of order, but I guess it's all flavor, right? Is when you don't take a sip for a while, it leaves this like the ashiness, and Kyle said tobacco, like kind of just lingering there. It's like a woody ash, and it's like a really pleasant sort of aftertaste.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it absolutely has a really nice aftertaste. Wow.
Yeah. I think I get more grape than cherry.
Okay, I'm team grape over cherry myself, and like to me, it's more of a it doesn't taste like white wine, but like my mind goes grapey white wine. Not to make it beer stuff, but kind of Nelson-y.
Yeah, I run into that too with like obviously barrel aged stuff, because in my mind I always think of like tannins and stuff in wine, and so when I taste them in other things, I'm like, oh, this has like a wine character, when really it's just oak tannins. But this is but yeah, there is like a grapey kind of. Yeah, Nelson is a good example.
If this was beer, I would say this tastes like if you took like Wookie Jack from Firestone, and smoked a black IPA. I'm getting a lot of like that kind of like the floral tones, that little bit of citrus, stuff like that.
That's a cool one, yeah, because you do get the citrus in the taste that we're talking about the aroma quite a bit. Yeah. Oh, I like that, Dan. Yeah.
And there's almost a slight baker's chocolate thing with this too. Just a touch, but it's there. But I think for me, the most dominant components are the spicy floral notes with the like a wood laden just char, and then you get that umami thing that you were talking about with the peat. Man, this is wild. Like I see why. Yeah, I definitely see why Keith would be down with this.
Yeah,
it's making me sweat, or the heat of the house right now.
Oh man, this is a treat.
I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Oh, I was gonna say that I was getting a little bit of that brininess in the aroma, but I'm not getting much, or I'm getting less of it in the taste.
Yeah, I don't get much brine characteristic.
It's more.
I was getting a little vanilla in the nose too, which I don't get too much here as much.
It's one of the reasons when I do give my nose score, lack of vanilla was a factor. Yes.
So what, you just did a 0?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm sorry, Sean, you got more vanilla in the nose than the taste.
I did. And I didn't start getting the vanilla until the very end. Until the very end, and I was like, give it a whiff like this, like a little far away from your nose. That's where I get vanilla.
Okay. That's interesting. Because I've been like kind of getting my nose more in there.
But yeah, if you pull away a little bit, yeah.
Oh, sorry guys. This is a specific question to Keith real quick. Did you really get banana the next time you went to the Angel's Envy? Okay. I couldn't tell if you were busting my chops or not.
No,
all right. Sorry.
It wasn't like this huge thing, but it was like there's like a subtle, yeah. Because I don't think I got it when I reviewed it. I don't think so. But
too funny. Anyway, sorry guys, it just popped in my mind.
I
don't know, Dan. I really like doing it this way. This is helps me kind of be more mindful of the experience, and this is really cool.
I've got like a whole chart of the ones we've done on Tanner's channel, and then what we do is we take each other's score and at the end we average it, and then we put it in a chart. And,
okay.
It's kind of cool to like. I think right now I think our highest rated whiskey so far is still the Russell's 10-year on that channel. But I know it's kind of cool, and it just kind of helps me. Like if I'm sitting at home, I can put a number on it and be like, "Oh, okay," and you see the differences. And I don't know.
Have you guys had this one Billy's talking about? Yesterday, I just finished my bottle of Stag Junior Batch 15 131 proof. No. Stag Junior.
So, Billy, how was it to ride a unicorn that farts glitter?
Okay. Yeah. One of those.
Yeah. I've heard Stag Junior is amazing, but it's very hard to come by.
I've heard it's really good, but yeah, I don't think I've ever had it.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like the flavor and everything, I'm really on board. This is so unique. And here's the thing, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to go to the liquor store and I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to look for a single malt whiskey, and I'm going to get it, and it's not going to be as good because this one's like 15-year and everything, and it's like, I'll be let down.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I haven't had a regular like single malt Scotch in forever. This makes me want to get back into it, but exactly what you said, Dan. You're going to be chasing the dragon, and you're not going to be able to find something that's up to snuff with this.
How you guys feeling about that mouthfeel overall? Just pretty full.
I love it.
Yeah, very impressive.
I'm in love with it. Yes, it's probably my highest score.
Finish, things we should consider. Am I on the mark? the lingering flavor, but also like the length that it's there, or like what's some stuff I should be looking for finish?
Really finish is, like I said, the length that it sticks around, the overall flavors, how long does it, and then you kind of wrap up your flavor and mouthfeel into the finish. There's just the overall experience after you've had it. You're sitting there for a few minutes, because, and then the other aspect about finish too is like, how many times have you had something that's like a bourbon or something? It's really good on the front, and then you get to the finish and there's kind of that kind of like astringent or burn back end, not so pleasant.
Yeah, this does not go
like
sideways.
The first thing I think of when I think about bad finish, white label Jim Beam.
Okay.
Bad finish.
Okay.
Is the flavor bad, or is it one of those like you get flavor up front and then it just goes away?
For me, the flavor is very much up front, and then the back end it just turned just like drying oak, just like kind of sour burn harshness. So man, I can already tell this one's scoring high.
I have high numbers, I'll put it that way.
Trying to think. Value is my hardest one right now.
That's the only one I don't have a number for yet.
Okay, Keith. So this is where value comes into play.
Yeah.
You acquired this.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it, and I wasn't told how much it was. I happened to get 2 bottles, and I know that one was cheaper than the other. So
15 MSRP.
But
so it looks like we're looking around
I'm seeing all over
250
the
to 300.
spectrum. I'm seeing this one space online that says $8,200.
Yeah, if you go to like shopping, it's ranging from 250 to like 300 for like not a stupid price.
But what's the MSRP? Like, what does Springbank sell this for?
Oh, you know what? Hold on, I got this app right here. Only Drams.
Yeah, I don't know if they have pricing on their website. So
here, I got it.
Wine.com selling it for $250. Not that that's MSRP.
Okay, so Only Drams is this app made by these whiskey tubers or whatever. I don't know. Without tangent, they say MSRP is $174.99.
Okay.
Is that
for $750
US dollar?
Secondary is $250.
That's US dollar?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know in the last like 3 or 4 years, I think it was, maybe 5, Springbank has gotten a lot more desirable to people. So I know some of the stuff is actually, I think a lot of Campbelltown stuff is because it's not because I think there's only like 3 distilleries there. So
okay, so on the website for Springbank, it says 72 sterling, which in the United States that's 91. And that's on the Springbank website.
Wait, what was that again? I was adding my scores.
Springbank on their website, because I have it ready, because after we're done, I want to go over what they say their numbers are. Is 72 pounds sterling.
What's that
And
in
if you-
US dollars?
And if you equivalent that to US, according to Google, it's $91.08.
Okay.
So there may be the import cost, right, that goes into it. I think we'd be safe to say you're looking at close to 200, if not more.
Yeah.
On a shelf in the U.S.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing on Google.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about whiskey. It's like they can price it whatever they want, depending on the store. You know what I mean? It's crazy to me. Like there's no standard.
Yeah, there's when Buffalo Trace pops up, like some stores will have it for $30 and then others will have it for like 50 or more. And it's like, I know it doesn't cost this much. I know, because
What's worse is when they make you buy another bottle to even be able to purchase the bottle you want to purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sketch. I hate that.
Should
we talk numbers or what we got?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one more edition.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or do we go number by number or just what we give it as a total or?
I'll tell you what, if to make things not as long or whatever, if like we can start with Sean can just go through each number and then give your total. And then if you want to say anything in between about why you gave it a score, we can during or after, whatever, we can kind of compare numbers. And because that is the thing where Tanner and Bumpy made a good case. And I'm like, you know what? I am getting that. I'm going to change my number, by 1 or 2, whatever.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Sean, fire it away.
Cool. So for aesthetics, 7, nose 16, flavor 15, mouthfeel 20, finish 15, value 5, total 78. Who's next? Or do you want to debate me on
I
that?
didn't know I was going to have to do the math. Wait, can you say those numbers again? I only caught the last couple because I was doing my thing.
Yeah. Aesthetic 7, nose 16, flavor 15, mouthfeel 20, finish 15, value 5.
We were kind of close.
I was not. I think being this is why I do not do scores on my channel. As I've said before, being a teacher, hearing this being in the 70s is shocking. But like I understand that's not that you guys both really like this, even though you're saying that your numbers are close in the 70s. So just be prepared that we do have very different numbers.
Oh, that's great.
So aesthetic, we weren't too far off aesthetic. 8, it's like the bottle is classy or classic, a little bit boring because of it. So not a perfect score. The nose, but again, I love peatiness, so I went 18, but it's like that's something I really gravitate towards. Flavor, same thing. A little bit of vanilla, but also with everything else going on, I don't think too much vanilla would have been appropriate. I think it would have taken me out of it somewhat, but I wanted a little bit there. And honestly, a little bit more wood. You guys got more wood than I did. Mouthfeel, I agree, 20 out of 20. I don't think I've ever had a better mouthfeel on a whiskey like this before. So to me, that's is amazing. The finish, 19, value. I really struggle with this. The money thing is tough. I did an 8 out of 10, so it gives me a 91 overall. But again, like in my teacher brain, this is like in New York State, 85 to 100 is considered mastery. Like you've mastered a subject. To me, this is a master beverage. So again, just where I'm coming from.
Yep.
Fair.
Keith
You
or Dan, or do we end with the person who sent them, or
What's that?
Do we end with the person who sent them, or do we end with the person hosting? Who wants to go next?
Whatever you'd like to do.
Keith, up to you, brother.
I was super self-conscious about this because like I really like this, so I think I was just thinking about it too much. But aesthetics, I gave it a 7. It is a little boring. I love the bottle, but like the label is basic and basically all their bottles are this kind of layout. So nose, I gave an 18 because it smelled good. Taste, I gave a 19 because I enjoyed it slightly better than the nose. So
Interesting.
Mouthfeel 20 because finish, I gave it a 15 because I'm just mad that it's not as like the finish is good. I like the finish and it sticks around for a while, but like I want more I want it to be like more flavorful throughout the finish because it kind of it does the flavor does linger for a while, but it's a very subtle thing. It kind of drops off and then it just sticks around for a little bit. And then value, I did 6 for
So what's your total?
85.
Okay.
Which I feel weird about because, like Kyle was saying, grading. So I'm thinking about the individual numbers, and then when I add it up, I'm like, I want this number to be bigger than that.
Yeah.
But I think you gotta look at I'll go over my numbers, but you gotta look at what portions of that bring it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so for my aesthetics, I give it a 6. I like the color of the label, but like Keith said, it's kind of boring. It's not I wish the label had some nice embossing or had some
here's the 10-year. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But the color of the whiskey is great. So I mean, I factor that in too.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
No,
meant the look of it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I gave it a 16. Because for me, I'm not used to that peatiness, so there was this funk that I was kind of taken back by. But the more I did it, it's still out of 20, 10 is average, right? It's the median. So I think it's above average, actually a little bit more than that, closer to a really good nose. Flavor, I liked it a little bit better, so I gave that a 17. Mouthfeel, I gave it a 17. I only gave it a 17 because I'm kind of a cask whore. I've been drinking a lot of cask strength stuff, so it's I'm used to a really full mouthfeel. But for the product and the ABV, it's still really good. So I think it's a good 17. Finish, again with a 17. It lingered. It provided everything I've gotten on the palate and nose, and just kept on carrying. Value, here's where it went down for me. I gave it a 6 because on the website, if I paid $91, I'd be okay with that. $200,
Mm-hmm.
I'm can I get something comparable for half the cost? I don't know. But just to me, $200 is a lot for a bottle in general. So the value of everything I'm getting, I don't know. So that leaves me with a total of 79. So my nose, flavor, and mouthfeel and finish are pretty high up there. What brought it down, my overall score, was really the value for what I'm getting and kind of just the aesthetics overall. So that's why I'm the whiskey's not bad. It's a really good whiskey. And if you look at your scores, it's just, I don't know. All right, I'm going to average it out, see what we averaged out.
Yep.
I would urge you guys on your own time or whatever, maybe next time you have a sip of whiskey, do this at least 2 more times and see where you land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I definitely am. I realized, Keith, you sent Buffalo Trace. I got a barrel select from the local liquor store, which I'm curious. I think I'm going to do a side-by-side to see what the difference is between the barrel, whatever they got versus whatever the regular Buffalo Trace is. And then I'll probably do this. Yeah.
We averaged out at an 83.25. So 83 for this bottle. That's a really good score.
And Dan, you said you had their website pulled up to see what their tasting notes were?
Yep.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like super curious.
Really quick, I did take a sip of this and then take a little splash of water, kind of open it up a little bit. That was pretty
I do
good.
like that move. Yeah.
All right. So they say it's 46 ABV, obviously 100% sherry. Nose, Springbank's Gentle Giant. This dram is big and bold with notes of cured meat, barbecued beef jerky, clove, mint, iodine, oxo cube, and tinned prunes, all evident from the Olorso cask maturation, while lobster creoles hint at Springbank's characteristic maritime influence. The palate, they say, the peaty character is now evident with the sooty kiln smoke and tobacco leaves prominent in this viscous tipple alongside prunes, walnuts, figs, demerara sugar, cocoa powder, and smoked meats. The finish grows and develops with notes of soot, leather, and walnuts prominent before easing off like an ebbing tide over one of Kintyre's pebbled beaches.
Tasting notes are crazy. Like, could you imagine like saying that to somebody like, "Here, try this. It tastes like
Yeah.
this," and they're gonna be like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Let me get right on that."
Iodine, right? Like,
So,
really
so
get
there's
in
like
there.
prunes, walnuts, figs, sugar, cocoa powder, and smoked meats.
I mean, some of this, like, some of it we said, talking about, well, tobacco, but it was like dead on. But like, when you said cocoa powder, but like smoked meats, yeah, like we talked about smokiness and stuff. So like that's the same thing. In an infinite number of universes, I never would have said iodine as a descriptor about anything ever. I don't know what iodine. Like I know what iodine is, but I couldn't tell you what it. Yeah. Anyway. So that's an interesting one.
The way they're describing this,
Canned prunes, was that one? Canned prunes?
uh,
Oh, sorry.
Tinned
Tinned, yeah. Because my mind did go canned prunes, not so much tinned prunes.
Is it
Tinned prunes?
Yeah.
Nah, the prune thing, I don't get it.
No.
But the nuttiness of walnut, that's interesting.
I could see the clove now that I'm tasting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those baking
Yeah.
spices are pretty common descriptors, in my opinion, of whiskeys and bourbons.
They're going all in on the smoked meat stuff.
They
That
really
and
were
barbecue
like,
beef jerky.
yo, if you like smoked meats, we got the whiskey for
Like,
you.
I'm just waiting to walk down the shelf one day and I'm gonna see like a Jack Link's collaboration with Springbank.
The marinade is this because it's all you need. It's that smoked meaty.
Those would be some expensive Jack Links, though.
Definitely. Yeah, that's been fun.
That's
Definitely.
awesome, man.
Keith, thank you for sharing. I can't wait to
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks.
reciprocate. I just got in some bottles from Amazon, so
Oh.
You can order whiskey on Amazon? Oh,
no,
these
like
things.
These little
the
bottles.
sampler bottles.
Oh.
Because I was like, if I wait till I drink all these, Keith won't get a package for like 2 months.
Yeah, they're not a bad price. I got some on Amazon too, and it's
Yeah.
cool.
What would you use for this? Is it just like a metallic marker?
Yeah.
Or a paint marker?
Yeah, it's a metallic Sharpie.
Okay.
Nice.
That'll be easy. All right. You guys got anything more about the whiskey, or are we good? Or
I do need to get going, so this is
Okay.
perfect for me. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to end the whole thing, but
nope.
This is
All right.
fun.
Guys got shout outs or anything?
shout out to Keith for sending it to everyone
Yes.
one more time. Keith at 93 Lumber, spelled out. 93
On the
Lumber
YouTubes.
on the YouTube.
On YouTube. And Instagram if you want. I don't post anything there, but it exists.
If you know, you type Hello Kitty to him. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check out Dan and to a lesser extent Mike on FLX's channel. FLX, it's a region of New York State where none of us live because of that weirdo. I don't want to give too much away where we live. And Sean lives in an undisclosed bunker in the continental North American region. At Nerd Sense, one
It's under
word.
a treehouse.
It's It's by
Yeah.
one of the treehouse locations. Nerd Sense spelled out as one word. Nerd Sense on everything. Because you're on Threads now too, right?
I joined it, but I don't know. do
Threads.
do my
Oh,
posts go
Threads
to
is the
Threads?
best. It's like Instagram but worse. It's like really awesome to use. Big fan of Threads. I post almost daily there. And once you're done checking out all these guys, I'm Joe from the Beer Patrol out of Buffalo, New York. Bye, guys.
See ya.
See you, folks.
Into your hearts.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.